All right, everyone. Last looks. Quiet on set. Roll sound. Sound speed. Roll camera. Camera speed. Scene 1. Take 1. Market. And action. Hi, I'm Ed, the host of Savannah on Film, and we explore the economic and cultural impact and values of the film industry in Savannah through conversations with people who work in the industry and related fields. You can find us here on WRUU-LP, Savannah, Georgia, 107.5 FM, WRUU.org. We are Savannah Soundings, community radio with global soul. Good afternoon, Savannah. Good afternoon, the world. Welcome to another fun episode with a great guest today on Savannah on Film. And let's just start off like we always do. I'm your host, Ed Susevich, and welcome to Savannah on Film. Our purpose is to explore the economic and cultural impact and values of the film industry in Savannah through conversations with people who work in the industry and related fields. We are here on WRUU 107.5 FM LP, Savannah Soundings, community radio with global soul. This is a live show, so I'm a little bit out of breath there, so forgive me for that. Welcome,
Dorothy Hadley Joly.
Hey, Dorothy Hadley Joly. Welcome to Savannah on Film. Thank you so much for agreeing to be here. I've been looking forward to having you on the show here, so let's just start for those that are not familiar with Dorothy Hadley Joly. Sometimes said
Joly.
Dorothy
Hadley Joly. Sounds pretty.
That sounds so nice, and it's nice and country. And anyway, we're going to say Joly, right?
Yes. We'll honor my husband and who I married.
There we go. It's
fun.
All right. Well, let's just start with a little intro of you, my friend here. Dorothy is an award-winning local actress who lights up the screen with her abundant talent. She has portrayed a wide range of characters in many films she has been a part of, and she makes it look effortless. Dorothy has a strong presence in her acting, showcasing characters with compassion, strength, force of will, and even tenderness. From somewhat distorted characters like Tina from the 2018 48-hour film project of the movie short entitled Cello, to other roles, Dorothy portrays a wide range of emotions through her characters. Outside of film, Dorothy has a first-degree black belt in Taekwondo. You could really kick my butt.
You found that out. All right.
I always do my research. A good researcher does. You enjoy singing in choirs and various outdoor sporting activities like parasailing.
Yes.
You've got me beat on all these. Swimming. I'm good at drowning. Hand gliding, really? And
tandem.
You okay. But you are far more courageous than I am. And Dorothy is an all-around wonderful person who enjoys life to its fullest.
I try.
You do. About Dorothy's acting abilities, fellow actor extraordinaire Patrick Roper, who was a guest on our show before, said the following about Dorothy. Ooh, everybody listening? Quote, "I've worked with Dorothy Hadley Joly more times than I can even recall at this point, and can very much say that she is a shining example of dedication, graciousness, and work ethics that anybody pursuing this career should aspire to, end quote. And those are some very kind words from Patrick
That is
there.
very kind. Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you,
very
Patrick.
much. And from someone that is, I believe, is an incredible actor. I definitely look to him for advice and how to act. He's incredible. He's an incredible actor, and feel very fortunate to have worked with him so many times.
We're going to look at some of your accomplishments here, and then we're going to dive into your filmography. So please jump in, give me any insights. If I made a few mistakes here, let me know along the way. From the 48-hour film project from 2014, okay, we're going back in time
Okay.
a little bit. You shared an award with several actors for Best Ensemble Cast for Back to One.
Back to One with Christian Hawkins directing and creating literally in the moment, and that was an incredible experience for me. That was my second 48.
Was it?
And I had so much fun all night. I mean, I changed into about 4 different characters that night. I was an actress playing an actress or actor.
Okay.
You know, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Is it actor or actress?
Right?
It's all the same. It's acting.
That's acting.
It's acting. So that was your second.
That was my second
Yeah.
one.
You also did, and we'll get to another one that you did this year, but in 2018, you worked on a short called Unreal Estate with Anthony Paderewski.
Anthony directed it. Yeah.
Okay.
Christian Hawkins was the director of photography and editor, put the music in, and Christopher Sosi. Please, I hope I said that correctly. He wrote it, and he based it on. I took a class with Anthony called Creating a Character, and this was my second one with him. And it was 4 weeks this particular time, and each one of us in the class developed a character. And so what happened is he paired us up this particular time, and Christopher and Anthony put us together. And I can't say what we did, but it was a gem. It was a gem. Barbara Mixon played opposite me as a buyer of a home, and I was the owner of the home.
That's a good job. We don't give too much away
that's it.
because there's a twist to it that's very interesting.
Yeah, no, and I don't want to spoil that for anybody.
Yeah,
But
so.
it's very sweet, very well done, and the team was fantastic.
Is that available for people to see yet?
Yeah, that
It is?
would be. I
Okay.
just put it on. I have it on my page somewhere, and then also on
You're fine.
on the Actors on the Move in Savannah. I just placed it there this
Okay.
morning, so you're
So
free
people
to
can
go
check it
over.
out there if
Yeah,
they
you're
want.
free to go over there and
Okay.
see that. I think
Excellent.
you'll be delighted. It's definitely a sensitive topic, historical topic.
Yeah.
That we dance around.
It's a very powerful short film, and it has a lot of heart in it too, and so people can check it out if they'd like. I certainly enjoyed it. Now, another one that we just recently worked on, it was in the 48-hour film festival this year for 2018, was Cello.
Yes,
And
cello.
I mentioned in my out of breath opening there, trying to get things working here, that you played the character of Tina.
Mm-hmm.
And Tina is probably not somebody that you want to invite over, and you want to keep her away from the knives.
Yes.
she's a
and
little.
Patrick Roper played my brother.
Yes.
And he is on a trek to find out where I am in a small little town.
The tagline is, "A small southern town is upended with an ominous stranger when an ominous stranger comes looking for his family."
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun. I did the radio voice there.
And so if you are the person who happens to be taking care of me, look out. Look out. That's all I can say.
Okay, yeah. Directed by, and I believe he won his first award as director for this, Anthony...
No, Aaron.
Aaron, excuse
Yeah,
me.
Aaron.
Apologize. Aaron Christian Paderewski.
Aaron Paderewski. Is that his middle name? I don't.
Yeah, it is. It is
Okay,
his name.
Good.
So,
Good to know. Now I know.
and Aaron will be on our show shortly.
That was his. Oh, good. That was
Coming
his
up.
first directorial debut.
And he got
And Yeah, we did. We
You
did fairly well. We got
did
some
fairly well for that whole
nominations.
film. Yes, we did. And I don't have the list of what we won, but there were, was it 7 out of 11? I don't know.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Our gentleman,
Yep.
Patrick Roper and David Rousseau and Aaron would know.
Yeah. And David Harlan Russo wrote it.
He wrote it.
Which
Yep.
he always does a great job with.
I've been in
films,
a few of his.
a
So
few of
that's
his
fun.
films.
Yeah.
The next one on my list here is another directed and written by David Harlan Russo, and we've talked about it before here on the show. Savior's Mule, another
Yes.
short, and that was oh my gosh, that had to be one of the funniest films. I don't know if we can say on radio exactly what
Yeah.
was that end scene. I always think of that end scene that took forever to do, and we got it in one shot, and we worked very long.
We can't say because we don't
can't
want to
say-
give it away.
It totally gives it away, Savior's Mule, but it was a very fun movie, and I think we laughed more than
Say that there are drugs involved. How about that?
okay. Well,
That's it.
but they're not actually. So
No,
it's-
goodness, no.
Yeah.
Never, 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 never.
And so it was a good, fun film. And let's see, you have another one where you played an ex-assassin turned family man is brought back into action when his old crew hunts him down. And you play Amelia Davis. It's a
I played the
2017
wife.
movie, Alpha.
Yes.
What was that like?
That was actually a SCAD project, and
Was it?
Yep, it was his graduating thesis. David White, I believe, and he
Yes, he was the writer and director there.
yes, he did a fantastic job. It's actually won an award over in Berlin, as a matter of fact. I think best film.
And it starred Jordan Cabros. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing. Christopher Deal, and of course you, Dorothy.
Yeah, and Jordan actually won a Best Actress for a 48 a couple of years ago. So
Oh.
just after we'd done that film. It was a pleasure. I learned a lot. I was starting to get more comfortable in my skin in front of a camera. I was starting to ignore that camera and feel much more comfortable in my character and be able to I'm able to focus on that character. So that was a good film for me to be on, and feeling the transition of moving into feeling more professional as an actor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, the next one is another short, 2017, and it's called Wilt.
Wilt.
Tell us about Wilt.
I believe we can talk about Wilt, and I helped produce a little bit of that, and that
Excellent.
was Susie Hohenstein and Patrick Roper, and that was another 48.
An older woman's unrequited desires turn deadly when she becomes obsessed with her groundskeeper.
Yes, and
I
we
love
had
that. That
Patrick
sounds-
Roper again, and we had Giovanna Claxton in that film, and poor Giovanna was died at my hands,
Oh,
unfortunately.
R.I.P. there.
Oops.
Oops, sorry. So Wilt, interesting. Directed by, we said Eric D. Girolamo. Am I saying that right? I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that. So, sorry.
And Arnold, John Arnold.
John Arnold was a writer. He's
Yeah.
listed as writer too. Did he also?
He
direct
also
it?
helped direct some
Helped
of it as
direct
well
it?
when John
Okay.
couldn't.
Okay. Okay.
He helped direct that particular scene that we mentioned about.
Okay. These are very interesting films. I love interesting films. There's a lot of ones that seem silly sometimes, and there's a place for every genre type, of
Yes.
movie. But I love those serious ones, those ones that, like Unreal that we talked about.
Estate.
Yeah.
Unreal
Estate.
Estate, yeah.
Yeah. And
Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was just going to say I've been very fortunate to try a whole bunch of different characters of various ranges. I feel kind of like a chameleon at many times. So trying to get to that point where I know my particular brand and who I am. So doing the SCAD students' films has helped me kind of filter through that, exactly who I am and who people can believe on screen. So it's definitely been such an encouragement to be able to do. See, the SCAD kids, their homework is my homework.
Okay. How so?
Well, because I've been working full time during the day. I haven't been able to go back to school. So I take advantage of their particular homework that they have to do and have to pass in.
Okay.
And so I watch them, and I pay attention to what works and what doesn't work. I develop my skills whenever I look at the film that I did with them.
Mm-hmm.
I can figure out, well, that worked, well, that did not work, and I can grow from there.
I think it's always, and we've talked about this on the show before, but it's definitely, you learn from everything you do. I know when I'm on a set, I'm always learning.
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
and I try to keep an eye on other departments, and I watch the actors, I watch, the cinematographer, the director, producer, everybody doing their thing, grip on electric, and I try to hopefully pick up a better way that I can do what my specific job is. And I know as an actor, you're always like a sponge. You're taking in everything around you, and you're trying to create this universe of this character that it lives in, and you're trying to make it as authentic as possible. And
Absolutely.
and that can be difficult. I was going to ask you this later, but here's a good place to ask it. What is your process like when you're getting ready for a role?
Depending on the role, if it's a small role, like a co-star role, there's not a lot I have to really prepare for other than, yes, I have to read through the script.
Mm-hmm.
I have to make sure that this person doesn't have any added actions or other reasons why they're there. So it's pretty basic when you do a co-star role. Just pretty much say the line, but you've got to know what you've done beforehand, and you've got to know what you're going to do afterwards, so that it looks believable when you're going into the scene and saying the line and then going out of the scene. Because you're moving the film forward, you're moving things forward for the star. So so definitely researching the script that is in front of you is very, very important.
Knowing how to approach a
Yes.
certain scene, because there may be different ways to approach, I assume, one scene, correct?
Yes, there's and then if you have a starring role, of course you have to read that script through and through many, many times so that you can get a feel of who that character is. You learn what their emotions are. What can I bring to this character, and where are they going, and why are they doing what are they doing, and what is this environment, and what does this all entail? It's just so much far deeper than a co-star role. And so and you want to know their whole life from beginning to end. So one is researching all of that as you're developing your character.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Another one that we worked in together, another David Harlan Russo written and directed film, which starred Langley Cornwell in it.
Yes. Langley.
She's so awesome. We're talking about from 2017. It's called Indeed.
Indeed.
And we also had Erin Paderewski was in that. Mm-hmm. And let's see, Langley was the psychiatrist, is that correct?
Yeah, for Erin and myself.
Yeah.
And
you were the happy couple?
Oh, no. No, we were not very happy. So she was there at our house making a home visit. Apparently it was very important.
Yeah.
And she was wonderful.
I love it when psychiatrists make home visits. You've got problems, come on in.
I had issues with Erin's character, for sure.
But that was a fun film. That was the first I got to work with a group of everybody there, and that may have been the first time we met on set.
I think that
it was.
Yes.
That's for a lot of people, or a lot of situations, that seems like a lot of people that I met started there. So I always have fond memories of what we call the Suitcase trilogy of films, and
yes.
We've talked about them previously when we had David on the show, and Patrick, and Dana was on here.
Yes,
before.
I listened
Dana
to
Schiller.
Dana when she was working with you, and then I listened to the rest last night, and then I heard my name.
He's like,
so that was like, okay, my last name is Joly.
Yeah. Oh, I think we even talked about it on the show, and
you did.
And I said, when I get you on the show, I've got to ask you, is it Joly or Jolly? And we've gone back and forth.
That may change.
It may change. Okay, but it's all good. The next one we have is one called Pinwheel, another short from 2017,
Yeah.
and you played Marnie.
I played Marnie. There was no speaking in that particular role.
Okay.
It's a SCAD student film. It was her thesis. And I played the woman that moved in next door
Okay.
to a gentleman. It was mostly about him, played by Gregory Tompkins. And he became infatuated with me, the neighbor.
With his neighbor.
Yeah. And I'm sure I was not the only one that came down the road.
Well,
It was very nice. It was my first time meeting with him, and I've actually been in a few other SCAD shorts with him, as a matter of fact.
okay. And let's see, it says, in a quest to find a new love, John turns his lawn decoration to his lawn decoration in hopes of wooing his neighbor.
Yes, and so he buys some more pinwheels from the local Boy Scout troop, who's triplets,
Okay.
who came in to decorate his lawn, and he does a nice job, and I notice.
So
Very sweet.
So is that the going rate other than like roses? It's pinwheels now.
It was pinwheels.
So,
So,
everybody put pinwheels in your yard or
yeah.
or
But it was,
pinatas. I don't know.
yeah, no, it was, I don't, and I loved, gardening, so he noticed that. So he thought, oh, I can impress her with this.
There you go.
The thing is, I left early. Like,
Oh.
I moved away. My son came and picked me up. He had another place for me to live. I was a widow. And so,
Isn't that how it always happens?
Yeah.
It seems.
so he was very sad. But lo and behold, someone wonderful
Showed
moved
up.
in right after
Moved
me.
in right- Well, wow. On to the next. Oh, dear. So that's the thing about doing a lot of these shorts. They can be very fun. They can be extremely serious. But generally, have your experiences been a lot of fun on set? I mean, I'm sure we all have one horror story we don't want to retell or whatever, but I mean, generally, I can say that my experiences have been very positive.
They've all been positive in the sense of me learning from each particular situation. When you're working with SCAD students, sometimes patience button needs to be pressed.
Right.
Not always. They've learned a lot through the last several years.
Yeah, between SCAD and Georgia Film
then-
Academy, they do a lot.
Right?
A lot of great teaching going on, a lot of learning on the job and training there, and it really pays off.
Right, and then doing our 48 hours.
Yes.
I'm with my peers, so I'm a little bit more relaxed. And we learn together every
Right.
single time.
Every single time.
We
yeah.
learn something new every single time.
We were talking when I was trying to get in the studio. My phone wasn't working properly, and I was like, "Okay, great." We mentioned the word failure, and I said, "There's never failure. There's just a learning experience,
Yeah.
And
I try to not go around and around in circles. I think I did that enough through my teens and 20s to understand that learning from each situation is the key.
Yeah.
Move on.
Move
and
on.
allow others that as well.
that's an important thing because, thinking about being an actor, you're not just thinking of yourself, you're thinking about others, and you're actually teaching others, and as you're learning from them, as you're doing your part,
Right.
And especially if you're not, a big ensemble, you're kind of bouncing off of each other artistically, and that's got to be a fun
It's a lot of fun because someone's saying a line a particular way, and then it dawns on you, I can respond this way, and you're not even thinking, you're just
Sometimes it's
doing.
automatic, yeah.
Yeah, it's automatic, which is wonderful. And then you know that you're in the zone. Although you don't know until afterwards.
Yeah.
'Cause you're just there.
And the next one you're credited as from 2016, Please Remain Seated, another short. You're credited as Woman. That's what it says here, Woman, as Dorothy Joly.
Yes, that was Michael Bunch and his brother, and those two have some things that they're doing on YouTube now. They've both graduated. That was funny. The two, one of them, they both write. One does most of the acting, and then the other one does most of the directing. And so they bounce off of each other, and I can
Okay.
see those two going pretty far. This particular scene was kind of insane. It was actually over on Hilton Head.
Can you talk about that scene or
movie theater? I don't think they're putting it in.
or if you can't say
I think
anything.
it's online. It's on YouTube,
Okay.
I believe.
And it's called Please Remain
Dana
Seated.
was in that.
Yeah, I was about to say
Yeah.
Dana Joy Schiller. She was in that. And Thomas F. Harris was in it. And Elise Fulton also starred in that.
Huge uproar in the cinema. How about I can say that?
Wow.
Huge uproar in the cinema. And the lead character didn't like it too much. He actually created it, though. So
Oh.
my response is trying to escape.
Okay. Oh,
In fact, a number of us were.
do you mean literally or are you talking in the film?
In the film.
Okay, I'm a little bit
actor,
slow. I thought you were talking about. Oh gosh, what happened in the
I made
theater?
it too realistic. I'm sorry.
You see, that's good acting right there. You had me believing. So
Strength, weakness, I don't know.
kudos to there. And just a tagline on that is: a student filmmaker becomes upset and goes comically crazy when people won't remain seated for the screening of his film at a film festival.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's I could see what you're saying there. I should have read ahead there. But
It was slapstick. It was definitely slapstick. And they're very, very good at that, as a matter of fact. And I'd done another film with them as well.
okay. I think that would be the next one, The Last Customer.
Yes. Yeah.
You were a news anchor woman, also credited as Dorothy Joly.
Yes.
And the tagline's: an ordinary man named Joe Byer suddenly becomes the last customer on Earth and must survive the resulting attack of door-to-door salespeople. Well, there you go.
Yeah, it was hilarious. I'm the one on the television informing him of what's just occurred. And so he finds out through me on the television as I'm announcing that everybody has left. And all that's left on Earth,
Elvis was gone too. He had left the building.
pretty much, I think Elvis would have known to leave. He was paying
Thank
attention.
you very much.
Christian Hawkins was in that as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he played one of the salespeople. He was really good. It was really good.
That's awesome.
I had a lot of fun doing that.
And if there's any I missed here, because you got like a book
my
over there. I'm
gosh.
looking at of stuff. If you want to chime in on any of these that maybe I haven't got to that you really want to chat about while we've got some time, that we certainly can do that.
Well, I think we can talk about teachers too in the
Let's
area.
talk about okay.
Okay, just one of the first people who taught me here in this town was Jean Marie Collins.
Okay.
And I'm very grateful to her. She teaches Spolin, which is Viola Spolin, improv, and she was taught by Paul Sills, her Viola's son, and he's known for Second City in Chicago. And so she saw something in me that I didn't know, or hoped that someone would see it, and she did. And so I've been under her tutelage for about 7 years now, and doing improv with her.
What's improv like?
Improv is,
I had someone ask me to try. You should try out for improv. I'm like, I don't know. That just seems a
it's
little
really funny.
thinking on your feet.
Yeah, it is. And I love it because she gives you the criteria of each exercise. And then we can do whatever character we want within the criteria of the exercise. So we're really free to go. And at the same time, being very polite to the other actors in the scene, yet
Right.
giving enough information for each scene as is possible. There's so many different exercises, and you advance with her. So you start off as a beginner, intermediate, and then going into advanced. And once you're advanced, you start doing shows with her. She'll start writing shows.
I think that's a good thing to have in this industry. You know, when you make it, don't forget to look back and
Yes.
try to help others up and pass on some of what you've learned. I think is an important thing. That's something I try to practice doing. You know, if I've learned a skill, I want to bring somebody on, a boomer or someone with me, and you know that really seems into it. You know, and if you can give back that way, you can be a mentor while you're also being mentored yourself. I think is pretty admirable.
Exactly. I mean, I've got to the point in a class where I know that someone else needs to grow at times, so I will allow that to occur. I won't just take over some scene. As much as I love to, I'll let go.
Right.
And now, in fact, the first show I did with her was right across the street here. We did that in a week.
Oh, wow.
With the venue changing 3 times, and there was about 19 of us. So that was a really crazy, crazy week.
That was over
and
there
we ended
at
up
St.
over
Vincent's
here.
Gym, right?
Yes,
right across
up here in the gym.
I can see out the window
Yeah.
there. And
But that was a very great learning
experience.
situation and experience. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, we're going to go pause for a few commercial breaks that we got to do. Got to pay those bills or whatever.
Excellent.
As it were. And we'll be back with more from one of Savannah's most wonderful actors or actresses.
We should talk about that.
We'll talk about that when we get back, in fact. So stay tuned, everybody.
WRUULP, Savannah, Georgia, 107.5 FM, WRUU.org. We are Savannah Soundings Community Radio with Global Soul.
WRUU brings you the most diverse and passionate local radio programming on the air in Savannah. This all-volunteer and nonprofit community radio station accepts no money from any form of government. Our diversity and independence is made possible only through the generous financial support of listeners like you. We rely on your annual and ongoing monthly contributions to cover the many costs associated with bringing you our broadcast and web programming. If you are a contributor, thank you. If you are not yet a contributor, please show your appreciation of the role WRUU plays in your life by becoming a contributor in any amount. You can donate quickly and easily by credit card or check. Just find the donate and subscribe links at WRUU.org. Thanks for listening to and supporting WRUU.
The Latin American Service Organization, or LASO, presents the 13th annual Fiesta Latina, featuring games, food, live music, arts and crafts, and connections to important organizations of interest to Savannah's Latin American community. The celebration will take place on Saturday, September 29th, from noon until 8 p.m. on the Waterfront Plaza, River Street in Savannah. For more information, email lasosavannah1@gmail.com.
And we are back with our guest today, Dorothy Hadley Joly. Or Joly.
Changed it up.
I changed it up.
The dilemma, the big dilemma.
The dilemma
needs to be resolved.
We need to be... I didn't want to cause a problem here. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's kind of fun.
We just before the break, we were talking about teachers. So we have some more to chat about.
Right. I have I've been taught by William Mark McCullough, who runs the Savannah Actors Studio. And he has helped me, many students, graciously learning how to audition on camera and other facets. So I've been very grateful to work with him because I had all kinds of quirks that needed to be ironed out, and he was the gentleman that helped that be removed. And then Anthony Paderewski, who also is a photographer, director, and actor.
He can do a lot of things.
He could do a lot of things.
I mean, wears many hats.
Right? The classes that I've been taking from him recently was creating a character, and then the Meisner technique. And I believe I have taken 1, 2, and 3 with him. He's about to teach another beginning Meisner technique, and then another one called Think Before You Act. So he has that out online.
I saw that online and all that. Interesting. Okay.
And I had Chad Darnell. I've taken a few of his classes.
Chad was on our show here.
He was. He did a fantastic job.
Yeah, he was a fantastic person to interview.
Yes, I've learned a lot through him, indirectly and directly, for sure.
He does a lot for a lot of actors in this area.
Casting
is
amazing what he's doing for our community. Very gracious and very good and fun and intelligent and smart human being. So
cool. Checks in the mail. No.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
No. Okay. So, let's see. I've got some other films here we can talk about, but I'm just going to mention them because we're running a little lean on time here,
okay.
And you can comment if you want, or you can pass. But I want to get in some good questions here. So
okay.
I just want to. You had in 2015. No, let's see. Yeah, 2015. The TV series Catawampus.
Yes.
You played Holly Heatherfields.
Yes, Simone Joyner Norsworthy from Wonderworthy Productions, and she created that for all of us. We created our own character.
Oh, how fun is that?
And then John Arnold, I believe, wrote that. Please forgive me. It's been a little while if I've said the wrong name. It was so much fun, and it was really getting to know a lot of the actors in the area. There was 2 teams, and so it is online if you want to look it up. And the silliness.
Okay.
That was how I became SAG eligible. I'm still just eligible at this time.
Okay. Behind Closed Doors in 2015, you did that short. You played Edie.
Yes, against Patrick Roper playing my husband and Christian Hawkins directing.
Yep. I have Jermaine Collins. Was Jermaine Collins on that too?
Somewhere in there, yes.
Somewhere in there? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Just looking at my
There's
my notes.
Chris. It's also Christopher.
Okay. And
Sorry, Christopher.
so what was that about?
Couldn't say
Or
his
can you
last
talk
name.
about that?
I believe so. I don't think that they're putting that into festivals at this time.
Okay.
So it was a 48. Is that correct? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
And-
I think it was. I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
it was a
have
48.
Okay,
Absolutely.
it's a 48 then.
Hawkins Productions at
Okay.
that time. Was it Dead Fish Productions? Something like that. Sorry about that. Okay. So Edie and Eddie, again,
Edie and
are
Eddie.
having
Issues.
issues. Another issue relationship with Patrick.
Yeah.
And
One day in a movie, you'll get it worked out.
yes, and Chris, our pastor, brings us to the basement of this particular
Oh, yeah, I
building,
remember this
and
one.
he opens a few doors for us. And
Quite literally and figuratively.
yeah,
So,
so we see what's beyond that door. If we continue on the path that we are on, these particular things are going to happen to us, and it's
Wow.
not nice.
okay. I'm just going to rattle off a few names here, and then we need to really jump into questions
Yeah.
for the interest of time. But
Sure.
you were in a 2015 short named Matinee.
Probably my favorite.
Okay.
One of my favorites as far as SCAD students.
Okay. Back to One in 2014. You were in that.
Yes, with Christian Hawkins.
Okay. And we had Genevieve on the show before.
Oh, did
Hawkins.
you?
Yes, Genevieve.
Oh, I'm
was-
gonna have to go back and listen to
You
that.
gotta,
I love
if
Genevieve.
you choose to listen, they're on
Absolutely.
YouTube. Then we have Jupiter's Legacy. You played a librarian in that.
Yeah, that was a SCAD project.
2013 stars Below the Belt, another short. You played Amber in that.
That was my first one,
Okay.
and that one, Matthew Dixon directed that.
Okay.
Huge learning situation and great film. And I worked with next to Susie Hohenstein,
Okay.
and had a really good time. We played fans.
And you got a couple others there. People can check you out online if they
Okay.
choose to. On that, so you've got a lot of accomplishments. You've got more than I've got listed, so you know what you've done. So we kind of talked about how you started in the industry. Did you always know that you wanted to be an actor?
Since I was a child,
Really?
yes.
What gave you that acting bug?
I went to a school called Bancroft School in Worcester, Massachusetts, and I went there from first grade to ninth grade, and we would get to see the fall productions from the high schoolers, as well as the spring productions, and I saw them, and I wanted to do that. Also, I had a family friend that used to take a number of girls to a play every year. And one year it was a ballet musical of Mary Poppins.
Oh,
And-
cool.
I know, who does that? And I I knew that that's what I wanted to do. And what was really nice is that the family friend was like, well, you can do that. And I was like, what? I can? And she's like, yes, you're very talented.
You are.
Well,
You're.
thank you. So from that point on, I knew that's what I wanted to do. However, I couldn't do it my entire
Yeah.
life because I had a family. I had to bring up a family.
This reminds me of the gentleman from the Cosby Show that was
Oh, yes.
been in the news, and that brought up an important thing, and I saw it in,
Right?
a lot of the Facebook groups talking about it, and of course it was everywhere. People talking about, actors. You have times when you're up, you have times when you're down. There's times when you're working, and times you have to do what you have to do to pay the bills.
We're working people. We're working people.
And there's no shame in a job that you have, no matter what that job is, where you start. If you get on the film set, if you're sweeping floors. I remember that in my training there in GFA, they said, if you can get your foot in the door quite literally and you're
Yes.
sweeping floors, if I wasn't going to get in the sound, I'm like, I want to be the guy sweeping the floors around the sound department, or whatever your case is. But yeah, there's no shame in having other job. There's a lot of people that work full-time jobs and they act, and it's finding that balance in your life. And then if you have a family and you have kids, it's even more on there. So very important to find balance.
Well, I am working right now.
Okay.
I've been working. This is my 11th year as a front desk receptionist and administrative assistant. I'm the voice of our school, so I do announcements,
That's
which has
awesome.
helped my voice. So I look forward to doing taking training for voiceovers and things like that for the future.
Yeah.
But I do have a goal.
Well, yeah, you got to have the goal, you got the dream, and you keep working at it. You keep chipping away.
Serious regular on an acclaimed television series or movie.
Whoever's listening.
Yeah.
And,
Positive that's positive for others as well as for me. So,
Right.
and my family.
Where do you think it? Well, I guess we kind of said that. Where you think it comes from? Where do you think that passion comes from to act? I
Yes.
mean, it's
It's very specific what I have.
very specific.
Yes.
Explain.
I was at that particular school, Bancroft,
Mm-hmm.
and I was in a show, the fall show, and I got one of the leads. It was called The Effect of Gamma Rays on Man in the Moon Marigolds, and it was directed by one of the seniors.
Okay.
I was very fortunate to get that role. And I probably played the most sane one in this particular play. I decided to play her as much as natural as possible to who I was, then being 15 years old.
Well, here's an important question that I really want to bring up here,
Yeah.
and we talked a little bit about it before. But what do you think are challenges that women specifically face in the film industry?
Well, when I was younger, being in my 20s, I got scared of the industry.
Really?
Of being, because I didn't have a lot of confidence about myself, and I was afraid that I'd get eaten up in knowing what I knew about stuff behind the scenes and all of that, which, as we found out this past year, is pretty much true.
Yeah, and crazy.
So in my 20s, I stopped. As a woman, I gave up. A lot of women never gave up, and they proceeded and forged forward. And I give them all the credit. I mean, that was a tough business.
Maybe you took a vacation from it.
I took a vacation. I sang for 20 years in various churches. I brought up a family.
There you go.
And then 7 years ago began
And that's
again.
rewarding.
Yes.
That's so rewarding.
And to see what happened this year, everything coming out, I can't tell you how grateful I am. Of course, I'm much older now and have more wisdom. You can see past
Yeah, when
certain
you
situations pretty quickly.
Yeah. When you get further on in life, you'll understand.
I can give wisdom to all those young ladies.
When you get into your 30s and all like that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Yes,
right.
that's absolutely right.
When we're all in our 30s or 20s or whatever we are, age doesn't matter. It doesn't. It's all about the talent, and it doesn't matter you're male, female, whatever.
Yeah.
As long as you put that passion and that drive into each of those characters that you're portraying, and give them life.
Yes.
That sense of, it must be so joyous to create something, to take what's on paper and give it life.
When you touch somebody's soul, that is an amazing feeling for you to have, that you've helped them be better or touch their soul in a way that they're amazed at how they feel. And let me just finish this.
Sure. Go ahead.
About when I did that play. this was the first time my father had seen me on the stage. And I give a monologue sitting on a big, long step of stairs. And I'm giving this particular monologue and revealing everything about the family and where I'm going and what I'm going to do. And I understand that this is a crazy family that I'm in. But it's okay. I'm going to move forward anyways, regardless. Now, after the show, my father came up to me, and that was the first time I felt like my dad had looked me in the eyes as a young woman. You know, he always looked at me as a little kid, loved me. We had the same birthday and everything. Yay, Dad.
Yeah.
This was the first time I saw an actual you. That was fantastic. You touched me.
You're about to make me tear up here.
It was, and
is
I,
awesome.
and so if you don't think that I didn't want to be an actor after that,
That's all the inspiration you needed, huh?
that was all I needed.
Wow. What actors inspire you and why? Can you name a couple? I mean,
Yeah. Meryl Streep, of course.
oh my gosh, what hasn't she done?
Right? What is it? 3 Oscars, 171 wins,
I have a guilty pleasure.
356 nominations.
The Devil Wears Prada. She's such a good
Wears Prada.
villainess, I guess, but she's
Yes.
kind of a tragic character and
Fair in a really mean way.
very strict. So, but
Out
so
of
Mer-
Africa.
yeah, oh my
Out of
gosh, yeah. Well,
Africa.
we could turn it into the Meryl Streep show if we had to. But
Now, she's in Mary Poppins Returns.
is she? Okay.
Yeah, and remember Mary Poppins ballet musical, which is what inspired me when I was younger.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I look forward to that, and also I love Emily Blunt, who plays Mary Poppins.
Right.
So I'm really looking forward to this movie. There's so much more behind all of this Mary Poppins theme.
A Mary
It
Poppins,
started
y'all.
at 5 years old. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, I had a traumatic event. My first movie was Mary Poppins.
Wow. So
First
you're
movie,
coming full.
5 years old, sitting in the theater. My dad goes, I don't know if you should see this. So I'm thinking, is something wrong with this movie? So I'm sitting there 5 years,
Right.
5 years old, and there's a huge screen in front of me, and I'm in the film. Pretty much, I'm in it. You know what I
Wow.
mean? That's how I'm experiencing it as a 5-year-old. And she starts to fly with the umbrella. Well, I start panicking. I had a panic attack.
Wow.
Because I was 5 years old. I didn't know that people flew with an umbrella.
Superman taught me, Christopher Reeve, that a man can fly, and Mary Poppins, I guess, taught me
Right.
that. Well, Dorothy kind of flew in that house there, in The Wizard of Oz.
That's true. Yeah, well, once I saw Mary Poppins and that musical and the ballet, that resolved a lot of issues that I have.
You're like, I'm heading down this road. I'm going to do what they do.
Right, but I'm
what
excited
she's
to
doing.
see Emily Blunt doing this, and I love Emily Blunt, and I particularly loved her in The Girl on the Train. That was an amazing movie and an amazing acting job that she did for me.
Are there any other actors like on the top of your list that,
Yes.
like, if you're on a desert island, what other actor would you, and you had an actor that's movies, who would it be?
Is it James McAvoy from Split?
Really?
Split?
Oh my gosh.
No,
yeah.
I don't really go to see horror movies or scary stuff usually.
Yeah.
So that is not the norm for me, but to have seen him do like 23 different personalities
Was amazing.
was amazing for me to watch, but I watched it as an actor. However, there were parts of it while I squirmed.
Yeah.
It was scary.
I know him from being a geek. I know him from X-Men and all that as Professor
and
X.
then the
so-
next one is Glass. I can't
Yeah.
wait to see that.
Oh gosh, Glass. Yes, I'm looking forward to that.
Right.
Yeah, he is a good actor. He's a good actor. Well, and Patrick Stewart is in kind of that crowd for me. He's one of my favorites.
Yes, absolutely.
And being a Shakespearean actor,
he can do anything.
he can do anything. He's like, I guess.
He was my favorite Scrooge.
Okay, that's saying a lot because there's
Yeah, he's done everything.
yeah, he's done everything. He's
Star Trek. I love
Star
him.
Trek. Oh yeah,
Yeah, favorite.
Captain Picard. Oh gosh, don't get me on. I'll go on a tangent. This will be a 12-hour show. But
You brought depth.
okay, any specific like movies that have inspired you? Like, I mean, there's so many. I mean, in different types. Is there like one that? Well, you said Mary Poppins.
Yeah, that's
So-
a cute little thing to say.
But
Well, my goodness.
I'm putting you on the spot
You
there.
are
So
putting me on the spot.
that's fine.
Because I love so many different things and so many different characters. I'm just one of those people that see the big picture and I get kind of lost in there sometimes.
Some friends of mine a family member tagged me on that thing on Facebook, 10 days and 10 movies. I know Patrick did it and a few others. And
I should have done that.
well, I put myself into a quandary of like, oh my gosh, I have to narrow it down to 10 films. I can't
Right.
do this. And I was like, okay, here's there's like 10 honorable mentions, 20 honorable mentions.
It's very difficult.
I was racking my brain. I was like, maybe if I put them in genres, that'd be easier. But it's hard because I like so many different types of films, and it seems that you do too. And I think as an actor, you want to see different types of films. You may not be into horror like you said, but seeing James McAvoy in this situation in that movie may have inspired you to maybe help with the multiple personality character you may have to play, or that may come up.
Dream job right there.
Dream job. Okay, so anybody
busy
listening,
body.
Dorothy wants to play a not so well-adjusted person. But,
Gosh, that's too easy. Why? I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
So, where do you see your career in 5 years?
Definitely, I want to be a series regular on a film or up-and-coming show on television.
Okay.
That is, and every day, making goals, setting goals to get there. Right now, I've been this great resume builder as far as my own personal resume, which I suggest to any new person, build your resume.
That was one of my next questions.
Yeah.
What advice can you give to up-and-coming actors and those trying to make it?
We're very fortunate with SCAD here. Very, very fortunate. Take advantage of that to the full hilt. Keep going. Go down and give your picture to them, your headshot. Get a headshot. That's kind of really important.
Yeah.
Build your resume with these films.
Savannah Film Office.
Savannah Film Office. Go put your headshot down there. Build that resume. Take classes. And I can't stress that.
I know Chad that was a big part of his interview, talking about making sure that, you don't go to the casting director to learn how to act.
Right.
You should already be doing the work, And when you get to that level of the casting director, that you may find another facet of way you have to rework something, but you have to have your basic skills and you just don't go from 1 to 10. You got to go each of the steps.
Absolutely. And even
And you
like
never
with the
stop.
auditions that I've done recently, I learned from each one of those and I'm like, oh, again. Or that was new.
Yeah, what?
But
Where did that
now
come
I
from,
know
right?
now I know what to fix and make the adjustment. As far as and learning how to audition properly on film is very, very important.
Okay.
Because a lot of people are taking taped auditions. You need to know how to look good
Okay.
and get rid of those quirks and make sure you understand who the character is, whether it's small, big, what's expected of you. Know before and after what is in that scene, what you're doing, what you're going to go do, why you're doing it,
Okay.
why you're where you are,
How I got here,
right? How that person got there.
where am I going, and
Right.
it's you got to be like omnipresent, I guess.
Why is my character moving this scene forward and for who and
Because you're telling a story through your acting, so if you're not telling if you don't understand the story, how are you going to tell it
Right.
through your acting?
as a co-star, you don't want to distract from the stars,
Right.
the starring role. So it's going to be more low key, or just regular, natural.
Everybody's not going to be Meryl Streep, but you might be acting next to Meryl Streep.
You're you.
You're
in that particular
an individual.
role.
Yeah.
Not too many quirks. You need to not take away from that particular scene. But if you're a star, you're hired for a particular reason.
Well, is there? We're about to wrap up now. So, is there anything else that we hadn't mentioned that you definitely just have to mention that you definitely want to talk about, or are we good? We could probably fill up a couple hours. I know you're going through a stack of papers here.
Let's see, from a very creative family. I have a young son who's drawing and creating
Awesome.
himself. So the generation moves forward with some more creativity. That's Link Joly, Jolly.
Okay.
He clarified that right from the start.
Oh, okay.
Our last name is Joly, but he's saying Link Joly, and he's EY3 Candy Creations. And he has some things he's going to be doing, so
Excellent.
keep an eye out for
Foster that, definitely.
Yes, I'm gonna continue to
foster the
foster that.
creativity in your families, and
Yeah.
the film business has places for everyone.
Right, and he just did a little storyboarding on the latest film here that was written by Mary Alice Monroe,
Okay.
which I think Chad had gotten all the actors for.
All right.
Casted. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show, and I just have to close here, but it's been a great time having you here.
Such a pleasure. Thank you.
And I
Ed.
know a lot of people gained a lot of knowledge from your appearance here, and I thank you for agreeing to be on Savannah on
I
Film.
hope so.
So thank you for joining me today here on Savannah on Film. Savannah on Film wants to feature film professionals at different levels. So if you're listening and you're in the industry, I'd love to talk to you. Our email is savannahonfilm@gmail.com. We're also on Facebook as Savannah on Film. We're on Twitter, and you'll hear all of this on YouTube.
What, no, Rich,
And I'm sorry, go ahead.
just to say, Rich Billig?
Yes.
Rich Billig has been here taking photographs
Thank
for
you,
us.
Rich. Yeah, Rich has been taking
So-
some photos in the studio here. Thank you, Rich, for
Very,
that.
very grateful.
We do appreciate that.
Pleasure and thank you.
Thank you, Rich. So you've been listening to Savannah on Film, a voice for the Savannah film industry, and I'm your host, Ed Susevich, and you've been listening here on WRUU 107.5 FM, LP, Savannah Soundings, community radio with global soul. You have been listening to another episode of Savannah on Film, where we give a voice to the Savannah film community. Please like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Twitter. This program was originally broadcast on 107.5 FM in Savannah, Georgia, and worldwide on www.wruu.org. Join us next time for more intriguing insights into the vibrant Savannah film community here at Savannah on Film.